Hello ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to show you what I did to fix my broken blinker lever and how ridiculous it was that Dodge wanted you to buy this whole thing for this for $500. So I instead went to a pull your part place, got me an entire steering column for my 2012 Challenger RT, and ultimately replaced initially just the part of the module that I thought I needed, which I ended up having to take completely apart, as you can see here in the next couple of minutes. So if anyone is coming here to see how to fix the ABS, traction control, steering issues, power steering issues, steering angle sensor. Everyone's issue seems to be a little bit different as to why they're having those issues. Me, it was simply because I swapped out that module on the steering column for a broken blinker lever. And I ended up having to go back to everything stock from my car of all those pieces that you'll see here in a minute I took apart. So enjoy. I hope this helps anyone who runs into the same problem. Thank you.
Alright, I figured I'd just do this, give you all a better idea. So after I fixed everything, I realized I missed this, which goes like right here. I hope the GoPro's kind of catching all of this. It goes like right here. So I gotta take the whole thing apart again. So after popping these off, there's these two bolts on either side. That lets me take out the airbag. Airbag here. You get the horn club, or plug for the horn. These two for the airbag. Pretty simple. From there, I have to use a combination of this Allen wrench. I think it's a 55 Torx. Get that fit in there. Use a 10 millimeter. Extension, breaker bar, bam, undone. Now we're caught up with me. This is the process I did probably 30 times while figuring this shit out. Let's get this out of here. Oh, and I disconnected the battery first. Always disconnect the battery, kids. Especially when you're dealing with an airbag. Don't want any unwanted expenses. Alright, so got this disconnected. This is just going to come right off. Pull these wires through. I'm all but a pro now. I've done this so many damn times. Get in there. Steering wheel off. Now. Alright, so here got the steering wheel off, and this is the module. The whole kit and caboodle. This whole thing cost $500, so that's why I did all of what I'm showing you, because I bought the steering column instead. Took this off, put it all on this when my problem started. So got this piece off. What I ended up having to do was use these tabs to pull this piece off. See, it's got these connectors. Get that cap. Go on. Go on. So you pull this off, and this is what connects everything from the airbag and the steering column controls, like the radio and stuff, cruise control, whatever. It goes through this band, ultimately connects through the rest of this module. So what I ended up doing was taking this off. First time I did this on the piece I wanted, these gears fell out, and as you can see, all it's got are these two, I don't even know what you'd call these, tracks, whatever, for them to sit on their axes. But when you take this off, these just kind of free float. I mean, you can see how loose all this was. It was a pain in the butt.
And now remember, this all started because my blinker lever broke and my windshield wipers wouldn't turn off. So once all of this is removed, just to show you quickly one more time, there was like 2 screws in here and a couple tabs that you could only have access to when you broke all this open to be able to pull the blinker lever piece out. So I did that and swapped it. And then that's what started half of the fix. That's when I at least had working windshield wipers, but it continued to throw codes, all coming down to this gear, ultimately. Took about 30 tries to figure it out, though.
What I ended up doing after coming in here like I am now and trying to eyeball this with the other one to compare it to and whatnot, got it put back in, was off by, 90 degrees, whatever. I put all this back on the steering column just like this. Basically, I took it all apart to this level with it still on the steering column, hooked up the code reader, as you'll see here in a minute, the way the numbers would move, and I determined it was this gear in particular with the magnet on the back that was giving me the 6,000 degree thing issue, so I knew that this was the problem. So with this sitting on the steering column, everything on the side, everything plugged in, and the ignition swapped over to on but without running, I just picked this up, turned it, sat it down, saw where the numbers read, picked it up, turned it again, did it again, and ultimately came to a spot that I knew was good. And then I knew this was off, because this is what determines the actual steering wheel direction. So once I got this gear in place and assumed that this one was good because it wasn't throwing anything off, mind you, this was spring based, so I was playing around with that, all guesswork here. And then I just simply pulled this out of the way, spun this one around until it was right where I needed it, push the gears back in together. Gravity keeps wanting to pull them down while they're on the column, so I kept my fingers in there, kind of did one of these numbers, popped this sucker back in place, put its 3 screws on, put this sucker back in place, it just clips on, and with this still on the steering column, you'll see I put it all back together, read those numbers. But now I'm at where I need to be. All that. Ta-da! That's it. So, put the steering wheel back on, feed these through. Get in there. This is only going to really fit one way. Make sure the wheels look good. Yep, that's about right. Turn it a little to the left just to straighten it out for me. Yeah, we're good. All right, so put this back. Put this in there. Not done yet. Gotta really make sure you crank this one down. Do a little bit more. Okay, that should be good. All right, plug that back in. Grab our airbag. Again, these can only fit in one way. If it doesn't fit in gracefully, you got it upside down, which is what I just did. Yellow to yellow, blue to blue, horn to horn. This back in. Oops. These are actually kind of a bitch because you can't get a good grip on them. I'm just going to go back to our 10mm bit. Don't know how much the camera's showing, but basically you're just pushing the horn in to line up that screw hole. There is one. And because I'm confident in my job, that side's done. Get this screw started. last thing, cosmetic-wise, is this sleeve. I don't know how well you can see that, if you can see it at all. But it's just like this fake leather sleeve. Pull that out a little bit. Let's see if I can finagle this. There we go. All right. So all my pleather and plastic is back. Now we're gonna hook up the battery. Hopefully for the last time. Good little pop here. Make sure it's pressed down nice and snug. Get this tightened. All right, now let's turn the ignition. Probably don't even have to hook up the reader, but I'm gonna. Look at that, all the lights gone off. And then just to verify that all is well, I am gonna run my code reader one last time. There you go. But you see how these numbers change when I had the steering wheel off and I had the Mickey Mouse ear gears. I turned the ignition over without the car having started, and I was just spinning those magnet teeth gear things by hand, and that's how I found out the one on the left determined this reading. Oops. Sitting at like 90. So I just spun it by hand in place till it hit 0 degrees, knowing everything was straight. Slapped her all back together. No more error codes. So as you can see, that's it. Everything's done. Thanks for watching.